This is a goggle that looks very familiar to most of us in the FPV community. Fatshark released their Scout goggles over 2 years ago. This is a different Scout, the Scout HD. It's the first goggle with a built-in Shark Byte VRX that's compatible with Fatshark's digital HD system. We're going to take a look and see if these are the goggles to get you into HD. I'm Jeff with Titan FPV. Let's get to it. Get FPV currently has these in stock, so if you're quick, you should be able to pick up a pair. I ordered these when they were still in pre-order status. These are so new that they are running, I guess, a earlier firmware. So the first thing that you'll want to do with this set of goggles is do the update. I do have another video that I'll post a link here at the top, upper right. I will post the link for on how to update your Fatshark Byte VRX. It's going to be the same thing for the Scouts. It is a different firmware, but that's for the Scouts, but the process to update them is the same. So you're just going to download the files and unzip them, put them on the root of the SD card, and then power the goggles on. You'll see it'll give you a step-by-step process. It'll flash the VRX and I believe just the firmware on the actual goggles, and then it'll give you a notification that you need to restart the VRX, which is the goggles. After that, you're good to go with the most current firmware, and I'll also post a link to that video as well. But I did run some packs through these, and I was pleasantly surprised. Another option for box goggles that work well with Fatshark's existing VRX. I have these mounted on my HDO2s currently, but the SkyZone Cobra X and S goggles, preferably the X, they have a higher resolution. I believe they're 1280 by 720. Now the panel in this is going to be a 1080p, so 1920 by 1080p panel. It's a 3.5 inch panel. I believe they're boasting a 44 degree field of view. I can't tell you, it looks good. It's not an OLED panel. I assume it's an IPS panel. The colors are crisp. The image is clear. It is set. I mean, you do have some, I guess, black lines on the outer side of the display. So if you've used HDO, the original HDOs, you will note that they have the image set pretty far back, so you can just focus on the image. With 44 degree field of view, it's a really good spot. I believe the HDO2s, they have a 50 degree field of view, so you're kind of looking around, and some people don't like that. You can get distracted. It's easier for them to focus with the smaller field of view, but if you get too small of a field of view, then they're not going to be immersive at all. But these hit that sweet spot, so that's one thumbs up for this goggle. You can fit glasses in these. You can remove this foam on either side. I chose not to do so. I'm just wearing contacts with these goggles now. They don't have an adjustable field of view, interpupillary distance between your eyes, but I think that will fit most places. Now, goggles are something that are personal, so just because it fits one person, it doesn't mean it's going to fit everybody the same. Your mileage will vary, so if you've got somebody that has a pair, you can try them out and see if they fit your face. These fit me fine. They do come with this nose piece padding that is optional. I did put this in. I did notice a little bit of light leak down here at the bottom. None on the sides. Now, if you remove this foam, you may get some light leak here on the sides, but I didn't notice any but down here at the bottom, and that wasn't distracting. They're not heavy. My first pair of goggles were the Fatshark Recon V2s. They remind me I mean, the shape anyway, and the design, they look like them. So, I mean, they're not binocular style goggles like the HDO2s. You're wearing goggles on your head. You look like a spaceman.
That ain't no airplane. Look.
So it's not like you're trying to impress anybody. You should be impressing people with your flying skills. They do have these 3 buttons to control the OSD menu. It's the same as the VRX menu with the Sharp Byte VRX that you mount to your existing goggles. The recent firmware, like I said, that's the first thing you want to do. It does add all the features like the .mov format, record or disable the OSD font, auto start stop, auto scan on channels. So if you're not getting those features, you need to do the update. First thing, normally I wouldn't recommend doing the update first thing. I'd just get out and fly, but in this case you want to be compatible. It does have a built-in fan. You see these vents. I was thinking this was like a heat sink for the VRX. There could be I haven't taken these apart. There could be a heat sink in here for the VRX. And then you've got 2 right-hand circular polarized patch. I assume they're the same ones that are in the original VRX, as well as these SMA connectors. Generally you're going to put 2 Omnis on here to match. One thing I did note, there is still no power button. Most of us that use Fatsharks could honestly care less about a power button. And I'm one of those people. I have a power button on my HDO2s and I still unplug the pack every time. Not a big deal. One thing I did note, I did not see a way to change the brightness or the contrast or the color saturation in these. I believe it's fixed currently. That could be something they could put out in an update. But as of now, I did not see a way to change the brightness. If you just press up or down, short press, it will toggle through your 8 channels. Sharp Byte, it runs on race band, so channels 1 through 8. You can cycle through if you want to manually cycle. Then to get into the menu, you'll just long press the up button. That'll switch between the video signal and the built-in menu for the VRX. If you long press the back button, that will start and stop record. If you have it set to, well, even if it's on auto record, it will stop that. And then you can cycle through the menus with these. Fairly simple, straightforward. It does have this 3-piece strap, kind of like DJI and the other Fatshark box goggles. You may or may not find that comfortable. You could easily swap this out. These can be powered from 2 to 4S. You can use a Fatshark goggle battery. This is a 2S 1800, I think. Or the 18650 case will work as well. But like the HDOs, all the other Dominator goggles, they do have a spot to mount the battery. So I don't see that fitting in here easily. So that's something, some feedback for Fatshark. I don't know if a lot of people are going to be powering these with this type of pack. Let's see what else comes in the box. You did get a XT60 2-barrel connector that you can use, like I stated, that you can use from 2 to 4S. I use this 4S 1500. Works good. You do get a cleaning cloth, a QR code that leads you to the manual, which should be uploaded by this time this video is released, and some Fatshark stickers. So it doesn't ship with a case like your Dominator series or Attitude series do. but I did have to cut a few things to get into this price point. So $250 is what they're coming in at. This was something that was talked about in the Facebook groups. Everybody was hoping that they could hit this price point, and looks like they have succeeded. So at this current time, from start to finish, this is going to be the cheapest option to get into digital FPV. You're going to pay $250 for the goggles, VRX, with the built-in VRX. You're going to have to pick up some antennas. I recommend these Luminaire double axes. Now these are not cheap. These are $30 antennas. I'll post a link for the video that I have a review on these. These are what I run exclusively on here. You don't have to use these. You can use something like a Foxeer Lollipop. Yeah, it's not going to be as high a gain, but it will work. So figure at least $30 for antennas. You're now at $280. If you buy one of the current nano cameras, they're $50. They come with a MIPI connector. And if you get the Whoop VTX, that's going to be $50. So you're looking at $380 plus tax. That is by far the cheapest way to get into digital FPV at this current time. So if you're new to FPV, you're thinking about, do you want to go analog? Do you want to go digital? With digital, you have DJI and Fatshark's Shark Byte are the only two options currently. Orca is working on a system. I've heard that they've dropped development on that. There is OpenHD. Currently, I think the latency is too high on OpenHD. But if you're new to the hobby, trust me, you've already got a lot to learn. That's what we're here to help you with. But you don't want to complicate things. For me, Shark Byte's pretty easy setup. Some people have had activation issues with DJI, but for the most part, DJI is a fairly easy setup. All right, I'll try to get this in the video where you can see it. As you can hear, the fan is running. If you'll notice in the upper left-hand corner, that's going to be your goggle battery voltage. So I'm using a 4S currently. You're probably familiar with the Fatshark OSD from my previous video. If not, take a look at that. These do have a line in the lens, so it's only one screen, but I guess the focus is split between both your eyes. As you can see, there is some black around the screen, but you don't really notice that. When there's no image on the goggles, you do notice reflection of the white text, but that's not a problem when the image is up. For me, there's not really any glare. The image does come through much more clearly than the SkyZone Cobra X goggles that I reviewed previously. The build quality on Fatshark's is really good. The fit and finish is nice. So these don't feel like a cheap goggle, even though they are a box goggle. They don't feel cheap by any means. So they do have a built-in fan. You see your SD card slot is up here up top, if you're familiar with the Dominator series. Not as hard to reach as the Dominator series, but not easy nonetheless. I can get into the menu for you, but the menu process is the same as the normal VRX. So you're just going to long press the up button, and then you can cycle through the menu system. Okay, by this part of the video, you should have a good synopsis of what this product does and does not offer. It doesn't have HDMI out. You can't add an analog receiver to this. It only supports Shark Byte's HD system. But it does come in at $250. Offer everything you need to have an immersive experience at an affordable price. Is this going to replace my HDO2s with Shark Byte? I don't know. Are these going to be good ride-along goggles? Yes. They're going to be great backup goggles. I didn't really experience any eye strain. The image was clear. I may actually even prefer the field of view over my HDO2s. I don't see myself selling those because I do use those for analog as well. It would make sense that Fatshark's going to release a new Dominator series with built-in Shark Byte VRX. But these are going to be a good gateway drug to digital FPV. So for me, I definitely can recommend these. At the $250 price point, if you decide that Shark Byte's not for you, you can sell your gear easily and get most of your money back. I do expect these to go out of stock soon. So if you're on the fence, I would recommend picking these up. Most of us have 4S packs laying around, so not shipping with a battery is not going to be an issue. Most of us are probably going to have antennas laying around, so that won't be an issue as well. At that point, you just need to pick up a camera and a VTX, and you'll be good to go. Stay tuned for more Shark Byte content, guys. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. Click that like button. Give this video a thumbs up. Post your comments down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I can, and we'll catch you in the next one.